Hey, Carson, thanks for taking the time. We'll get started with Jeff McClain and then Paul Domowitch.
Hang on. Sorry about that, Carson. Carson, it's been pretty remarkable when you look at the offensive line and all the injuries. Brooks, Dillard, Peters, Sayamilo, and Lane, possibly again. What's it been like to work with so many new faces on the offensive line, and what did you make of their performance against probably one of the best defensive lines?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a tremendous job. It's always hard on an offensive line to, just have so many different moving pieces. I mean, there's a lot involved, more than just X's and O's, but how you pass off games and stunts and blitzes and communication and a lot of things that people don't realize that, takes time for guys to mesh together. And I think a lot of these young guys and the guys that have been, stepping up have been doing a tremendous job. It's a tough job. It was a tall task last week against a really good front, and guys are playing their tails off and doing a great job, and giving us a chance to win every week.
Okay, let's go Damo and then John Clark.
Carson, staying on the offensive line, confidence is such an important part of this game. How do you and Kelsey deal with these guys as far as building their confidence, making them believe in themselves, and
Yeah, I mean, I think you just touched on it. It's all about building their confidence, making them confident in themselves, and confident that we're going to all work together. And guys are going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. I'll be the first to say, hey, I'm going to make a mistake, but it's how you bounce back. It's how you react to it. And but you really hit it on the head. It's just building them up, making sure they know that we believe in them, so that they can go get the job done.
Okay, John Clark and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Carson, you have thrown or attempted to throw a pass to 24 different players since the start of last year. So you've had to work in a lot of guys, and it seems like you're building a little bit of chemistry with some of the younger guys now. And then Deshaun and Alshon could be coming back. So how difficult is it? How much of a challenge is it to try to get in sync with everybody, get that chemistry down when a lot of guys are in and out?
Yeah, I mean, chemistry is obviously a big part of the game, and with injuries and different things, it's something every year that's sometimes hard to develop within a season because guys go down, guys miss a game, 2, 3, those things happen. It's part of the game. But I think guys have done a really good job of staying engaged. So at least mentally they're involved still. So the chemistry is more just the physical than the actually running routes together and being on the same page there. But it definitely does. Add a little curveball in there, but that's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's part of the fun is trying to quickly develop that chemistry within a given week and making sure you're on the same page so you can go put a good performance together on Sunday.
Okay, Zach Berman and then Mike Kay.
Hey, Carson, what does it do for you and for an offense when the running backs are involved in the passing game? Not just in screens, but if it's wheel routes, split wide, flexed on a linebacker, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on your personnel, obviously. But when we got a guy like Miles that he's just dynamic with the ball in his hands. I mean, you saw his touchdown run last week on really not a great look there, and he just made guys miss and made some plays. And, anytime you got a guy like that, you got to try and find ways to get them out in space. It puts a lot of stress on defenses, creates some mismatches, and, sometimes takes attention off of other guys at the same time. So, having a guy like Miles and Boston and Corey, all three of those guys do a good job out of the backfield, catching the ball, screen games, all those things. And it's a big part of what we do, and I think it's something we can keep building on.
Okay, Mike Kay and then Les Bowen.
Hey, Carson, it seems like you've made a conscious effort to run a little bit more. Has that led to any different challenges behind the scenes with maybe weight management or making sure that you're a little bit quicker by losing some LBs or anything like that?
Nope. No, I mean it's just been flow of the game. Really my whole career is trying to make plays, and sometimes plays break down, and that's kind of always been a part of my game. And guys have really kind of rallied together. There's always big plays there to hit if you can make them down the field, whether that's me scrambling to throw or just scrambling to pick up a first down. But as far as that goes, I mean, I'm always trying to stay in shape and stay ready to go for that stuff.
Okay, Les Bowen and then Dave Zangaro.
Hey, Carson, you spoke after the game about Zach Ertz and the situation there. We've asked Doug about it, and Monday he said, yeah, he was kind of grappling for a reason or something, and he said he had never seen so many high balls coming in to Zach. Have you guys talked about that at all? And what are you doing to try to get him back in the flow of the offense?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's how a defense is playing us. Sometimes it's part of the game plan. But kind of with the same thing I said after the game. I mean, we're confident in Zach's ability to get open, his ability to separate, his ability to be where we need him to be, and he's a playmaker. Defenses still know that, whether he's catching 10 balls a game or one. Defenses still know he's a playmaker and he's someone they got to be aware of. And I'm confident that he'll still get his. And as far as the chemistry, I feel good about it. It's something that we're just going to keep building. Every practice, every time we step on that field, him and I always get extra work in. So, it's not something I'm overanalyzing by any means, and I'm confident he'll have big games ahead.
Okay, Dave, and then John McMullen.
Hey, Carson, we've seen Travis now in 2 games in a row have pretty good performances. Is that sustainable? I mean, is he a legitimate NFL player, or is this just kind of a fluke thing with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he showed last week that there was no fluke. The big touchdown catch on against the Niners, I think, showed last week that it wasn't a fluke. He's a big time player, and we've seen what he's done in practice now for a while, and how he's kind of come along within our offense, within our system, and with the injuries and everything going around. He was the next guy up, and we looked out there and said, hey, we're confident in this guy to get it done, and he's been making play after play, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
John McMullen, and then Jeff Skversky.
Hey, Carson. Just to follow up on Travis, for lack of a better term, some people compared quarterbacks to point guards in basketball and getting people involved. Can you kind of feel when a guy has confidence and is having that kind of day, or is that something that's you really don't think about and just focus on what the defense is giving you?
Yeah, I mean, my job is to like you said, really kind of focus on what the defense is giving me. But I think coaches and myself at times within a game can kind of get a sense of who's got the hot hand and kind of call plays and gear plays specifically for guys. But a lot of times it's just kind of what the defense is giving us, and especially when it's zone coverage. You can't dictate where the ball's going to go there. But when it's man to man and those things, you are kind of aware of who's got the hot hand and what the matchups are that given week.
Okay, Jeff, and then Ruben Frank.
Hey, Carson, hope all's well. How special will it be for you guys to have fans finally in the stands at your home games? I'm sure you go back to even when you played Pee Wee where you didn't have fans, but this opportunity to have even some fans, what is that going to mean to you and this football team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot. Even just going last week in Pittsburgh and just having some fans kind of change the atmosphere, change the environment, and I know it'll be even different being at home. It's still different, it's still kind of weird, not packing the house, so to speak. But like you mentioned, I mean, it takes you back to, high school scrimmages, middle school scrimmages, those types of things when you're playing in front of no fans, and it's just kind of sometimes an eerie feeling out there when, it goes silent. But having fans out there, definitely motivates us a little bit more, and we love playing in front of the fans, and can't wait for the day when we can really pack that house. But this is a start for sure.
Okay, Rube, and then Martin Frank.
Hey, Carson. Zach asked you about the running backs in the passing game. With Miles specifically, we really haven't seen him, and really Boston as well. We haven't seen them in the passing game as much as last year. What is that a product of? Is that something that you feel like you need to work on, or is it just kind of a byproduct of how teams are defending you?
I think it's both. I think we can always get better, without a doubt. I think there's always plays at the end of every game you can look back and say, okay, we could have hit that one. There's things you can do better. But I do think after last year, teams are cognizant of where Miles is. I think they're smart with which players they're putting on him when it goes man coverage, or aware of him of how they're blitzing that side or whatever. So teams are aware of it, but it is definitely something we can keep building and keep getting better with.
Okay, we have time for 2 more, so let's end it here with Martin and then Daniel Gowan.
Carson. Hey, Carson. What kind of signs do you kind of look for, like over the last 2 games, to show that you've been playing better? Have you noticed anything different?
I think, offensively, I think we're finding a little bit of a rhythm at times. It's still leaving plays out on the field, no doubt, in both games. Obviously, last game, not the result we wanted. We had chances. But just within a game and just some of these drives and how we kind of find a bit of a rhythm with, the run game, the quick passing game, play action passing, and just finding, our groove a little bit at spurts. Now we just got to put it all together and sustain it for 4 quarters.
I kind of meant you personally. I'm sorry.
Say that again?
I kind of meant you personally. Like, how can you tell that you're playing better?
Yeah, I think that all kind of goes hand in hand. Honestly, just when we're kind of in a groove offensively, and we're mixing it up, with quick passes, play action passes, the run game, and I think that plays to my advantage. And adding the ability to go up tempo at times and those sorts of things. I can definitely always play better. There's always turnovers and different things we can keep cleaning up and misses. But finding a bit of a groove and finding a bit of a connection with some of these guys has definitely been helping.
Okay, last one here with Daniel.
Hey, Carson. The Ravens defensive backs had 5 sacks last week against the Bengals. What did you see from the Ravens defense on tape, and what kind of challenges is that group going to present for you?
Yeah, you turn on the tape and you just see speed. You see a lot of speed in the secondary and the linebacker position. They fly around. They're going to try and disguise different looks and bring, some funky pressures and really try and throw off your timing and throw off your rhythm. And so for us, it's executing and playing fast. We know we got our work cut out for us. You just mentioned the defensive backs. That's as good of a group as any, on that side of the ball. So we got to be aware of where those guys are at and what they're doing. But for us, it's playing fast and just executing our game plan.
Okay, thanks, Carson. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.